Oompa Loompa Doopity Doo, have we got a movie for you? Welcome to episode 19 of ZeroCool's HardDrive. I'm Berg. With me, as always, our expert chocolate river taster, Houseman.
Oh, I don't know if I like that.
Oh my god.
And one of the few people in the world that think the schnozberries don't taste like schnozberries, Dunkel.
It's obvious they do. Have you ever licked the wallpaper? Come on.
Oh my god.
If you haven't guessed
Come
by
on,
now, we're
don't
doing
look at-
1971's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. But before we get into the movie, I'll pass it to Houseman for some news and movie trivia.
Before I move on, can you repeat that first line you said in the podcast? I think everyone wants to hear that introduction again.
I don't think we need to.
Oompa Loompa Doopity Doo?
Yeah.
I like it.
What do you mean?
You chocolate river taster?
We have a
Tell me
movie,
about
yeah.
the movie.
The expert chocolate river taste tester. Come on.
Hey, that is a prestigious title I'll have you know. I'm much loved in the land of Oompas.
Perfectly.
Well, I mean, you get the fitting build. That's fair.
Oh, short guy joke. All right. But yes, folks, here we are in 1971 covering Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. But before we get to that, as always, we're going to dip into the year a little bit, see what was going on. So I'll get into some news first. First off, good or bad, Disney World officially opened this year on October 1st.
Whoa.
So, yes.
Why is
I'm
that
not sure
bad?
how popular it was when it first opened up, but I imagine a lot of families went there.
I'm guessing it's probably still pretty popular.
100%.
Is it
This
still
was a bright
expensive?
spot that year. The founding of Doctors Without Borders. So I don't know if everyone knows what that organization is, but it's basically doctors that go around to like conflict zones and treat people for free. And this one, I had to actually second guess this myself because being an old person, it said in 1971 it was the ban on cigarette advertising in television and radio.
It was that long ago?
Yeah, I did not realize that.
Did they like
thought it was-
did they have no, because they had, I guess,
Well,
yeah,
it was very specifically-
advertisements are different, I guess, than just having cigarettes in movies.
Yeah, the law was passed the previous year, but it was actually took effect this year on January 2nd. So,
Interesting.
but yeah, I mean, I know I saw smoking in movies after that, but obviously
Well,
it
yeah,
wasn't
but
advertising.
wasn't an ad.
I'm sure they just couldn't show like, hey, I'm smoking Virginia
Yeah.
Slims and I'm John
They
McClane.
just made the coolest character in the movie smoke.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much, right?
Interesting because Dare wasn't initiated till 1983.
But
there was
then
more
again,
drugs, though.
yeah, I was gonna say their kind of hot topic was marijuana when I was a kid. Obviously, attitudes and times have changed.
Yes.
And this year, wholly busy year for NASA. Apollo 14 returns to Earth from its mission to the moon, and they launch Apollo 15 that same year.
We
It was
never
all
went to the
fake.
moon. I don't know what you...
It's
For you
never
flat
real.
earthers on there, I mean, they drove the NASA astronauts to a film studio,
They did. That's the only thing that they did.
and they simulated the dust and no gravity with,
Now
There is
we're-
no
now
moon.
we're-
You can't make it past the firmament. Everybody knows that.
Yep. Now we're doing the Mars moon, apparently.
Yeah, please chime in, flat earthers. Tell us how we're wrong. We'd love to hear it.
Casey, be awkward if you, or Houseman be awkward if you commented on your own podcast.
Oh, all right. And this year, fight of the century: Joe Frazier versus Muhammad Ali.
Ooh, that'd have been cool to go to.
Yeah, Joe wins by unanimous decision. So go, Joe.
I bet those tickets were expensive.
Oh my gosh, could you imagine? I mean, that must have been the talk of the year.
I'm sure it was.
This one was a little strange, and I didn't know it goes this far back, but FCC approved HBO for paid television service that year. So I guess that
That
was kind of considered.
Holy, that does seem like a long time ago.
Yeah, I guess that was considered the start of like kind of premium television, like when they actually started charging for stuff. So
Well, this was like,
maybe we shouldn't thank HBO. I don't know, but
And
This
now
is like-
everything's streaming.
now everything's streaming. Comes full circle. What do you got, Dunkel? Sound like you wanted to say something.
that was like 50 years ago now. Yeah, think about it. When you think
Yeah,
over
20
50 years ago.
Yeah, when
Yeah,
you think
over
20 years
50.
ago, do you think 1980? Nope.
Oh,
Yes.
I still do, unfortunately, even though I know
Yeah.
it's not.
Right.
And last but not least, the DB Cooper hijacking and parachute escape happened that year.
Oh,
So,
they never,
folks, if you
they
have any
never caught
leads,
him.
if you have any leads on who DB Cooper is,
They never
call
caught him, and they
into
never found the
not us.
money.
The only reason why I know what that is because Without a Paddle.
tons of documentaries have been done on
Yeah,
it.
there's been a lot of documentaries
There've
trying
been
to
a ton
find
of, like-
find the money, trying to find where he ended up,
yeah,
trying
like
to find out
who
who he
is.
was. Yeah,
There's a documentary I watched recently that they thought maybe they were a little closer, but they always
airlines
say
were a
that.
little bit more lax back then.
Yes, they were. How about you just hop on in, grab a beer, grab a gun,
Yep,
light up
pretty
a
much.
cigarette.
Bring your cigs, yeah.
Yep.
Let's have some fun on this wild ride. All right, so that was the year in news, 1971. I could have covered a lot more, folks, but I don't want to make this whole podcast about little news snippets. But let's get on to movies. So 1971, Best Picture was Patton. I don't think that one needs much more introduction than that. Best Actor went to actually George C. Scott for playing Patton.
Oh.
However, he declined it, saying acting should not be competitive. So pretty cool there.
That seems
And then-
weird.
Huh?
That seems odd.
I know. I wouldn't take him
Life's
for like
a
that kind of
competition.
actor. But
Everything's a competition.
I've
everything,
never heard of
yes.
that movie a day in my life.
Patton?
Patton?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, famous war movie.
Yeah,
Very
still
famous.
pending?
Oh,
Patton pending.
that
It's a dad joke. You should be all over that.
was a terrible dad joke. And you call me a boomer. Best Actress went to Glenda Jackson for Women in Love. Do I know who Glenda Jackson is? Nope. Sorry. Do I know
Never
what the
even heard of that
Women
movie
in Love
either.
is?
Yeah.
Nope.
Not a clue what that movie is.
I've heard
Apologize, folks.
You would have.
I'm doing podcasts by myself next week.
Moving on to our title in question, Willy Wonka box office number. So, believe it or not, this kind of tanked a little bit. They had a total $3 million budget. I had a hard time finding like exact figures. They swung from like 2.7 mil to 4 million. So we'll probably average that out. But essentially, it almost lost money at the box office. It's worldwide. It was not that big.
I mean, I'm sure most of the money was for like those sets and everything that they built and
But there's more stuff on the money. I'm
and
going to get to
all
here.
of that
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it had to have been expensive for everything they were doing.
We'll get into how this happened. So like I said, kind of lost money. That $4 million worldwide. But on to the facts about this movie. So Mel Stewart's daughter, so he was the director of this film, was the one who kind of prompted him to adapt it after reading the book. I guess it was one of her favorite books. And so, being in Hollywood, Daddy, make a movie for me. And in order to do so, they engaged with Quaker Oats to finance this movie. This is a
What?
Quaker Oats financed movie to advertise their chocolate bar, the Wonka bar.
They actually had a Wonka bar.
They actually came out with the Wonka bar that year. This movie
Weird.
was essentially meant to be an advertisement for Quaker Oats Wonka bar. And that was, in fact, why they called it Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, not Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Interesting.
Because they wanted Wonka featured prominently to kind of like, put in people's heads, hey, the Wonka chocolate bar.
Wonka.
Everything's a simulation.
Yeah, right. I was like stunned about it. I'm like, what? Is it just
that
a
is.
Quaker Oats
I don't
funded like
feel like
advertisement
Quaker Oats.
essentially?
I don't feel like it came up in anywhere in like at least the beginning credits. There was nothing about Quaker Oats.
Well, and I don't imagine it would, right? They probably not going to
Produced
say
by?
like, well, no, they're not going to like, people are going to look at that and go like, it's a company. I don't want to watch this
Is
garbage.
that why Willie looks like the cousin to the Quaker guy?
I just, maybe. We'll get into a little bit of that though. So yeah, a couple more facts about the movie. So I don't know if everyone remembers, but the limping scene where he kind of walks out of the factory in the cane and he does that somersault. I guess that was Wilder's idea. And the reason being, he wanted to give the character some mystery in that like the audience might not know if he's lying or not. So if he if he establishes up front that, hey, he's just faking it, then what else is he lying about?
He had plenty of mystery. I don't think we needed him to pretend.
I mean,
to fall.
for sure, but I can see where he's coming from.
So he's just like Grandpa Joe. They can both walk just fine. We're all
Yes.
faking it.
Hey, we'll get into it.
All right. But yeah, so that was an interesting little thing there. The blue makeup from the blueberry scene. Apparently, this girl had to go back to school after filming it, or filming that scene, and that makeup stayed around for like 3 days.
I bet they used some toxic stuff back in the day.
Oh, she
paint
said it started
people.
coming out of her pores a couple days later, and I was like, oh, that's wonderful.
Mm-hmm. They used some bad stuff to paint people back then.
And the chocolate river, as I'm an expert in, obviously,
You are.
was made of water, chocolate powder, and ice cream powder. And apparently, due to the heat from the set and the lights, became a little bit rancid.
Well, I bet.
Maybe rancid is not the right word,
I
but
was
a
going
little
to
bit
say,
sour.
did it start curdling?
It started basically like spoiling. So the set kind of smelled.
That's yucky.
Could you imagine? Just this probably smelled like sour milk.
Why wouldn't they just do like food coloring
That's what I don't understand, because it looked just like colored water.
or chuck a bunch of? They had chlorine back then. Why didn't they just chuck a bunch of chlorine in it also?
Not only that, it's 150,000 gallons.
Ugh.
There was 150,000 gallons of water. So that it was actually only 10 centimeters deep.
I wonder where
That
they
river.
dumped it after they were done.
Yeah. Oh, right. God, it must have smelled awful. It was filmed in Germany, so Germany probably stunk for the next year.
Probably still in that factory.
And last thing, kind of get into the actors here. So we got Gene Wilder, obviously the comedic great, playing Willy Wonka. And then we have Peter Ostrum playing Charlie. So a little fact about Peter Ostrum, this was his first and last movie. So he was discovered in Ohio, hired for this movie. And then after this movie, he's like, done. And he goes off and becomes a veterinarian eventually. Kind of a, yeah.
That's got to be really awkward when you take your dog in.
I bet you wouldn't even recognize him.
Do you think
No.
he advertises it?
I was going to say, if you look at a
No.
modern picture, you probably wouldn't
I
recognize
bet
him.
I bet you wouldn't even recognize him these days.
And honestly, that's probably for the best because, as we all know, child stars don't always turn out that well.
No, they really
Right.
don't.
I'm not going to sit here and name names, but I think we all know. But yeah, so that is the facts, news, and box office info for that year.
He's 68 now.
Yeah, well, this movie came out in 1971, and he was probably like 14.
Yeah. Dylan, 71. That was 55 years ago. 55 stinking years ago. Can you believe that?
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, who wants to start us off here? Kind of.
I can start us off. So we start off usual 1970s opening credits. They show some candy bars being made. Nothing too crazy there. So they show a bunch of kids like leaving school, but they go directly to the candy store, which already is kind of like, okay, that's a little bit odd. The scene in the candy store is weird. I don't know if you guys found it weird. This guy's like talking about Wonka like he's some like god on earth making chocolate, and then he starts singing. Obviously, this is a musical, which I forgot how
the
musical.
Candyman can.
I forgot how many actual songs were in this movie.
Yeah, come on.
But like this part's really weird because like these kids are just ripping through candy. He's letting them in the back. No one's handing him money.
That's what I had in my notes. I'm like, these kids are just ripping off a candy shop? I mean, this is straight up theft.
He's just letting them. He's just like, yeah, come on back and eat all of the candy that you possibly can.
Either this guy is rich and just does this for fun, or he is just losing money.
Yeah, but then he makes Charlie pay.
Yeah, he stiffs him for a quarter later on in the movie.
He could have given her an extra Wonka bar, obviously, and not even bat an eye.
Yeah. So going from that, I mean, like maybe the kids have a charge account and he's just racking this money up for the parents or something.
Yeah, put it on my tab.
Yeah, or he somehow knows all these kids. I don't know. He's like picking them up and stuff. It's really weird.
It was a whimsical moment, and you're rooting it.
No, it was not a whimsical moment.
I don't know.
Okay, it was a whimsical moment, but
I'm not sure about the whimsy of it.
Again, demigod Wonka and kids with no money.
Yeah, they talk about Wonka like just some crazy person. I don't know, recluse, whatever you want to call it.
He's the candy man.
Then they show Charlie outside looking in, where in this scene, I mean, he has to go to work. Obviously, he's like a paper boy. He could have went in there and had some candy, apparently, and he didn't.
Yeah,
he just stood at the window. So we have that assumption that he's too poor to go have candy.
And again, like, is every other kid just rich? Because they almost seem to make it out like Charlie was the only poor kid in town.
Right. I'm just thinking this whole time. I was like,
the only poor kid in town.
He could have walked in there, got some free candy. Nope, he waits to go home and takes Grandpa's last $1 and goes to the store.
Also, fun fact about the town. I looked this up because I didn't remember them ever saying it. The town never has a name in the movie, ever.
That's right.
They left it secret so it could add to Willy Wonka's secrets, basically. They never said the town name. Or where it was in the world.
Could have been a golden opportunity to come up with those nonsensical names. Welcome to Gobbledygookville.
But yeah, Charlie goes on a paper delivery where he's just like running through the streets, chucking newspapers at people. Apparently the best basically like a NFL quarterback where he's throwing stuff.
Yeah. More time practicing, less time eating candy. And that's one thing like that really struck me about this movie that I had not remembered. And that like how much of a social commentary it was. Like, I didn't realize until I started watching, like, oh, holy moly, they are just calling out, like, spoiled kids glued to the TV.
Time. Yep, glued to the
spoiled
TV.
Kids who just eat.
Kids that are brats, kids that want everything. Yeah, they call out quite a few things.
Well, and like there's a decent amount of creepy old guys that are just kind of like lurking around in the movie too. Like in the beginning,
also that,
when he's like looking through the fence during his paper route, and the guy's like, nobody goes in there. And then like,
what's his face?
The dude with a bunch of knives and swords on a cart.
Yeah.
This town just has a knife salesman walking around with a cart. Like hot dog
that's what
salesman?
I was wondering. Is like, was he a sharpener? Like he went around sharpening butcher utensils? Like,
maybe
he's a traveling salesman.
Like Dunkel said, no one goes in, no one goes out. If the candy keeps coming, like calm down, dude. This kid's 13 or something, maybe even less than that.
The thing says he's supposed to be like 12.
He's just like,
And maybe have some self-awareness that you're running a stinking cart with a bunch of cleavers and knives on it.
Yeah,
Yes.
telling a kid,
Yeah.
nobody goes in, nobody goes
extra
out.
creepiness on that one. Yeah.
Hey, kid, do you know what these cleavers do?
And then you find out where Charlie lives. Lives with his mom and 4 grandparents who are bedridden, in quotations.
Well, yeah. Can we get to that? Can we get to the grandpa?
There's a couple things, and then we could get to the grandpa. Because
No,
it
we gotta get
seems
to the
like
grandpa
all of us
now.
have probably the same opinion about Grandpa Joe, and then we can just unload.
Well, scientifically and yeah.
Yeah, but like,
otherwise.
so this is where they like really laid on that they're like a poor family. They're having cabbage water soup. And Charlie brings home bread from getting money from his paper route, and they're gonna have a banquet, is what she calls it. And Grandpa Joe gets money for tobacco, but he's gonna give it up because having bread isn't a banquet, is what he basically says.
Yeah, like, has he been buying tobacco this whole time? Maybe Gramps
Yes,
could have given up to
obviously.
tobacco like 20 years ago,
Grandpa
when he
Joe's
became-
bad guy.
bedridden.
Grandpa Joe is a bad guy. We
He
can start
really
that
is.
off right here.
They could have been eating more than cabbage soup. But I'm sorry, you can't subsist on cabbage soup.
Yeah.
Don't think if you're poor that
this movie
cabbage soup
really
is acceptable.
hangs on you trying to be whimsical about things, and it's just not that.
Yes. Cabbage has, like, I'm pretty sure 0 nutritional value and does not contain calories. So, folks, don't take advice from this movie.
Yeah, no, it really doesn't give that much, I don't think. The only other thing I had before we start getting into like the different kids and stuff was the teacher that Charlie has at school is very odd, very English.
He just seems very done with it too. Like,
Yeah.
he doesn't care.
He was waiting for his big break, and he didn't get it.
Well,
Yeah, he
and even
must have
before
been.
that, though, like, it's just kind of like, let's just mix some chemicals together in a bucket and see what happens.
But I mostly brought up to school because all of a sudden there's a commotion outside, and they're like, Wonka's gonna give away a bunch of candy and let people in, and they dismiss every class in the school to go buy candy.
Yeah,
This is where this movie gets that's such a ridiculous concept. That
This factory
this
is the
unbelievable.
of the town. Yet nobody's asked questions how they produce candy with 0 employees over the last however many years. I mean, somebody had I have never read the book, so maybe there's something I'm missing here. But
I read it a long time ago, but I couldn't tell you much about it. But like I said, dismissing the class and the teacher's just like, everyone's dismissed. Like, he's gonna go buy a bunch of candy also to win this prize. Like, the prize itself really isn't that good of a prize. Let's get into that. It's just a year's supply of candy. That was gonna do nothing for Charlie's family. They can't live off of candy.
they can live off of it more than cabbage. Like, come on, let's draw a line here.
I mean,
Chocolate
but there was no
is
like
greater than
cash
cabbage.
prize. There was no anything. It was a tour of what you thought was just a normal chocolate factory and a year's supply of chocolate.
But how would you think it was a normal chocolate factory? Because, again, like, nobody saw anything going in or out.
Nobody thought it
presumably.
was as fantastical as it turns out to be. I would imagine.
Exactly. Who knew they were? Yeah.
So then they start showing like news reels and stuff of people talking about finding there's 5 golden tickets that are in Wonka bars, in Wonka chocolates that are
Well, there's
all
like
over
a
the
whole
place.
special for it too, and they're like,
Yeah, there's
marketing,
all-
the
there's-
first one's been found.
There's specials. You start finding out. Yeah, you start seeing all the kids who are finding them.
Real quick, though, did anyone know where this took place? Because they never really called it out. Obviously, they didn't call the name of the village, but I kept thinking to myself, is this supposed to be Britain? Is this supposed to be America?
No, I don't know. I think because
the architecture looks. I mean, it was filmed in Germany, I guess, but the
it was filmed in
architecture looked kinda
Germany.
British.
It was filmed in Germany, but like his teacher is English. Grandpa Joe's like American.
Veruca
Charlie-
Saltz is
Yeah.
English.
Right, but they seem
then-
like but they're like they talk about where the other kids are from. Because Augustus Gloop is the first kid who finds a golden ticket, and he's from a small town it's like Germany or something. They say the town he's from.
Yeah, his was obvious, but I mean, it's just the rest. It was kind of this intermingling of like you had a bunch of American accents, a bunch of British accents.
Yeah, I think they said for a few of the kids where they were from.
Even
Like
when
the
you go
one,
back to, like-
the kid with the wasn't obsessed. The kid with the last name of TV, obsessed with TV, was from Arizona.
And so I don't know if anyone else caught this, but I wrote it in my notes. When they were interviewing Augustus Gloop's parents, They put the microphone in front of his dad's mouth and
You
he
didn't
chews
eat
the
it?
head off the microphone.
I wrote that down. It doesn't even make a crunch or anything. He just like
No.
swallows the top of the
Just,
microphone.
"Arr." And that's where like that's some of the heavy social commentary. Like just these fat lazy pigs.
I know, but like thinking about like Augustus Gloop, he's not even that big.
No, like by modern standards, no.
He really isn't that big. He's not that big of a like a teenage kid, honestly.
No, that's just. I mean, he's like a bird size, you know.
Yeah. And then you meet Veruca
Offensive.
Salt, who you immediately hate unless you like brat kids.
Oh God, and just like could barely even tolerate her.
All I wrote was I hate Veruca.
Yeah. No, Daddy, I want it now. I want one of those. I want a Wonka. I want an Oompa Loompa.
Yeah, and her dad opens 750,000 chocolate bars for her to find her a golden ticket.
And yeah, what are they, a quarter a piece? So
what was the
something like
rate
that.
that he said? It was like they're doing like 90,000 an hour.
Oh yeah, they were doing just
like
a crazy amount. They were just ripping
1,900
them
or
open.
19,000 an hour. Yeah.
And then because her dad is like, I feel like her dad is English because he says he talks like he's from England.
He is, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember their family was very explicitly English.
Yeah, they were English. But he's like, whoever finds it gets an extra $1 and there's something. I didn't catch it the whole thing. I was like,
£1 in there, whatever. So I think that's more like a UK one.
yeah, it was like £1 in your
and that
pay
salary,
salary or something. I don't know. It was very weird.
But yeah,
I can't remember what was the other
the
girl's name with the dad who owned the car business.
Oh, of course.
Plum
course
Girl?
I
I don't
that.
remember.
The one who turns into a blueberry eventually. Spoilers.
Let me look this up.
While he's looking it up, this is
Violet Beauregard.
Yeah, there you go.
yeah,
Violet.
At least with like the peanut salesman guy, it's the second version, like the second view you get of the guy with the scar face. Because he was in Germany when Augustus found it, and then he was here. Why? Like, I get kind of spoilers. Like, his whole idea was to like kind of like get to the kids right away and just be like, hey, if you find it, you know, when you're in there, I want some money. So like, imagining the reality of this, like Wonka tell him like, yeah, you know, whoever gets it, try and convince them. Did he have to be so creepy about it? Like, kind of like grabbing them really close, saying, hey, when you get in there. It's like he was all up in their grill, every single one of them. Like, you could have went about it like a less,
dude.
Like,
Slugworth has to be like a jumper because he's in Germany, he's in Arizona, he's in England, he's in I can't remember, maybe like New Jersey or something. Arizona. I can't remember where Violet was from. And then everybody knows Charlie gets the ticket. Obviously, he goes to the chocolate factory. He's there immediately after Charlie finds it
under the
bridge.
The
street.
Yeah.
How? This is 1971. We don't have cell phones that can text everybody in the world and say that Charlie found this on the street. He's just there. It's not right. I did want to talk about everybody trying to find the tickets, and then they do some like ridiculous, like there's like an auctioning off boxes of chocolate bars for like thousands and thousands of dollars, which is kind of a commentary on these days too, you know, like supply versus demand, and people think that overzealous people make things cost a lot of money.
Did you catch the scene of the van of chocolate bars outside the White House too?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a crazy amount of chocolate bars everywhere. My thing was, though, there's a guy with a computer trying to say where the chocolate bars are. The computer answers his questions as, that would be cheating. And what's the other question? He asked it another question, and it answers. I was like, you don't need the chocolate bars. You've created sentient AI. Go sell that.
Right.
Because it's answering your questions like an AI would answer a question.
Mm-hmm.
I think my favorite, though, was the scene where it was the FBI at this woman's house, and her husband had been kidnapped.
Oh, yeah.
And they're on the phone with the kidnapper, like,
and
it was like, he's demanding, like, I think it was like 1,000 Wonka bars or something like that.
No, your last box of Wonka bars.
Yeah, he wants your case of Wonka.
She's like, I'll give him anything. I'll give him anything. And he's like, he wants your last box of Wonka bars. And she's just like sitting there, like debating, like, oh, do I want to do this? But yeah, again, that social commentary was kind of hilarious.
It's your husband's life
I
for a
dug
box of Wonka bars.
For a kids movie, you know, that was like a pretty pretty darker
She's
scene.
like, how long do I have to think about it? It's your
Right.
husband.
It's your
Yeah.
husband. They're chocolate bars. Like, no, that would be me. I would not understand at all. Going back to Slugworth, though, he offered them each, I think it was like 10 grand. I did look that up. That'd be $83,000 in today's money.
Which I was thinking, like, Veruca Salt, like, her parents are rich and buy her anything.
The only family that would make sense for is Charlie's.
Yeah. Everybody else is like, other guy on the used car business and whatever else.
Well, like even like Veruca and all of them, it's like I think because Veruca's the one that does the peanut salesman. It's like the money you spent opening all those bars, like you can already get anything you want. So like, why would she even consider listening to the guy in the first place about the $88,000 when she can already have everything?
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
I
she
don't
wanted to
think
see the chocolate factory.
She
though.
wanted to see the chocolate factory.
It made sense for Veruca
she
because
wanted
she's
to
like,
be the
I want
person.
to.
No,
Yeah.
I know. So I agree with her, like spending all the money and opening all of them. But like, why would she even consider listening to Scarface? I forget his name again. Sorry.
Well, and I guess you never
Slugworth.
necessarily know if they were, because
How
really,
hard is it to remember Slugworth?
Well, he's
yeah.
kind of a slug.
Slugworth.
We need attitude. That was aggressive.
Yeah, we need some attitude. So yeah, after that, Charlie gets past Slugworth, goes home. It's like, hey, found the golden ticket, and they're like, you're fooling us, blah blah. He's not fooling. This is where welcome in evil Grandpa Joe, I call
Grandpa
him
Joe's
now.
a POS.
Oh yeah.
I remember watching this as a kid. Never once thought Grandpa Joe was bad. He is not a good person.
No.
Nope.
He's
living off his daughter.
They said he's been in that bed for 20 years.
Yep.
20 years bedridden. And the minute that something good happens and Charlie's like, I need you to come with me, he can jump out of that bed and dance a jig and just have a little bit of, like unsteadiness in the legs for 1 second.
Yep.
Let's just say they were really banking on kids, not knowing about the concept of
Absolutely
atrophy.
not. And I was thinking about it too, because if like Charlie's 13 and you say like his mom had him when she was in her like 25, so she's like 38. That means Grandpa Joe's only like 60 something probably, which means that he's sat in that bed since he was like 50 probably. He's like 70 years old in this.
Mm-hmm.
You're telling me at 50 years old you're gonna lay down in a bed and never make another dime for your family ever?
No. And not even like comfiest bed in the world. There's 4 of them sharing a bed.
Yeah, 4 of them sharing the bed.
Wasn't
with
his excuse like he had a bum knee or something like that at one point?
I don't even remember
can't
him ever
remember
saying
what it was.
anything. He just said that he was
Bad Grandpa
bedridden.
Joe. Bad Grandpa Joe.
Bad Grandpa Joe. Absolutely. The
Yeah,
other ones actually look like they might need to be bedridden. He didn't.
No. Well, there's a little snippet I read, but yeah, one of the grandparents was actually almost blind. It was like the older guy with the glasses.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he looked like that.
Yeah. Also, the shape of that house too. It's just, my God.
Yeah, it's like the only run-down house too.
They only showed like one outside shot of it, and it literally just looked like a wooden shack compared to in the middle of nowhere. Kind of, it looked like.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he like runs up the street. It's like out in the country somewhere.
It kind of had like a Scotland, Ireland kind of vibe to it, I guess, like that kind of general area. But yeah,
it kind of reminded me like a ramshackle British hovel or something.
Like
I don't
that.
know.
Yeah. Then you get to the day that everybody's. It's like the next day somehow. Charlie. Charlie finds a ticket. And it's immediately the next day.
Yeah. The timeline of the ticket. So like, how do you plan that out? It's like, oh, we're having this great event, and like it happened. Like, how do you put a specific date down? Like, yep, they're gonna find it by this day. Like the mathematician that had to go through this with Willy and be like, yep, this will be the day. It'll be perfect. They'll all be found by then.
Well, no, it just doesn't make any sense. You'd make the day after all the tickets were found, and then you'd like find the people and be like, what day? This is the day. You wouldn't be like October 1st or else. What if nobody found a ticket?
Right.
I mean, at this point, Wonka is just basically the most powerful man in the world by all appearances.
Yeah, somehow.
Yep.
I mean, he can literally like influence the world political stage.
Who hasn't been seen in like what they said like 30 years or something after everyone was trying to steal.
Yeah, he fired everyone, right? And then like closed the factory doors for 30 years.
Maybe we'll have to watch the prequel with Charlemagne, not Charlemagne. Chalamet.
Timothy Chalamet.
Yes,
absolutely not.
With Timothy Chalamet.
Did that already come out?
Yeah,
I don't think
Pretty
I watched
sure it is.
I watched Johnny Depp, so I thought that was pretty good.
Right. So now you get that iconic scene where Wonka does the trip, like Houseman was saying in the beginning, where his cane gets stuck in a hole that you can see before he puts it in there, and he does like a fall in a somersault, I guess it's called.
Shout out to Wilder. Good imagination there.
And
Wild
he's like,
move.
hey, yeah, everybody's like, woo, cool. And then all the kids come in, and you can already tell that he's like very excited to see the kids, but also doesn't like them immediately after meeting them almost. It kind of
He-
seems like.
Do you think it's also kind of like weirdly planned out that it's all kids that find the tickets and make it in there and not like some adults? So there was one that faked it. Was that person an adult?
Yeah, it was an adult.
Yeah.
It was like a mob boss in Brazil or South America somewhere who owned a bunch of casinos and created the ticket
Yeah.
so
Now,
he could try to go or something.
Imagine this tour with 4 kids and one Guatemalan old man in the corner going through it. It's like
There's some narco terrorist, yeah.
Right?
right?
Hello, kids.
Yeah, that would have been nuts.
I like TV. My dad likes cars. I want everything in the world. I'm super broke. I like booger sugar.
I just had a man
exactly.
butchered this morning. But hello, kids.
Hello, kids.
And so one thing I wanted to cover, though, obviously we get into the factory, right? But I guess when they built the set, they didn't actually reveal to the kids until the day of the scene. So they wanted to like capture that genuine reaction. So when they go into like the chocolate room with the chocolate river, that was like kind of a genuine reaction from the kids. Obviously, it's just a set, but I would imagine there was a little bit of awe.
Sweet, though. Yeah, that would have been pretty.
I mean,
cool.
yeah, that was a heck of a lot put into that set. I guess some of the pieces were actually edible.
I was gonna say they could actually eat that's still good. That part's honestly just kind of gross to me, but
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry if people have been stepping on that grass. I'm not eating that grass.
Oh my gosh.
I know, and they have like gummy bears and stuff. We'll get into it more, but I did want to get into. He makes them sign this ridiculous contract.
Yes.
Where it's really big words and then it gets smaller, then it gets smaller, then it gets smaller. It's basically just white at the bottom. And like later he references it with like a magnifying glass, which there's no way that magnifying glass was showing him the words to that contract.
No. And then of course, Violet and Veruca's parents are like, no, we're not going to sign any contracts.
People we
I
know
work in
things.
contracts. I'm a used car salesman.
Yeah, well, you definitely aren't signing a contract you can't read. I mean, this is where it's like, well, we make sure we have kids, so they sign whatever, and it was basically just Wonka being like, I'm not responsible for your deaths.
Oh yeah.
Or your injuries or anything that happens to you.
Of which there will be numerous.
And you can tell the two dads in this, Veruca's and Violet's dads, are just out, like, not into this whatsoever. Like, they do not want to be in this chocolate, like, from the beginning, when he, like, opens the door and it's, like, a weird room that everybody's in, and everyone's trying to, like, he's trying to, like, hit the walls, like he doesn't know where the door is.
Like the black and white room thing?
Yeah, and then he turns around and opens and he's like, that's where we came in! He's like, really? It doesn't look like
it's
where
like
we
the
came
zany
in.
scenes I appreciated, though, like that kind of humor where the
But yeah, it
parents
was
are just
all
freaking out.
all zany stuff, and he opens the door, and it's a door. It's actually a different hallway with a bunch of other doors, but then they get bigger as they go up, kind of like a optical illusion room.
Yeah.
Again, yeah, and then that's when they open the door, and it's like a giant safe door that he opens somehow.
Yeah, which I mean, I'm sorry, you can't explain that to me without magic.
Well, yeah, well,
Like,
it's magic. Yeah,
Plays the magical
Yeah, I
tune.
mean, they would have had to, like, yeah.
he's
I
magic.
mean, well, we don't have to get too much into that, but
We
just
don't
the
have to
physics
get
of
much
it.
into that. It's magic, Casey. Just love the magic.
You're right.
Yeah.
Where's your sense of whimsy?
It's a whimsical
Yeah, again,
adventure.
it's a whimsical moment and you're destroying it.
through basically
it's pretty silly. He does play something on a
capitalism
little
manifested.
piano, and the TV kid's mom like clocks it, and it was some composer, but I was like, that's weird reference to have in there.
Rachmaninoff.
Yeah, of course you remember what that was.
Well, don't you know, I am quite the connoisseur of classical. No, I'm not.
No, you're not. Oh my gosh.
And then he tells
yeah,
him everything's edible, and he sings a little ditty.
even the river.
Take a look.
You
And-
can't.
Wait,
That is not the right. You were doing take a
I
look. It's in-
already
you were
messed
doing,
that up, folks.
You were doing take a look. It's in a book, Reading
Yeah.
Rainbow.
Yeah.
That's
Hey,
right.
record your best takes in the song and then post it on our YouTube or Facebook, please. I want to hear it.
It's a good
Your
song. I'll give him that.
imagination.
It's a memorable song. Everything's edible. Doesn't tell anybody not to touch the chocolate river, which I find maddening.
Until he's knuckle deep in it.
Yeah, I
Like,
know. That's
how
what
is this kid
that's what I
not
mean.
satisfied?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the kid, like, he could have eaten
Dude, that's his
anything else
whole
in there.
character. They made him want to eat food. That's it.
I know.
Eat the food. So everybody goes off. They all start eating chocolates, eating things. He sings like the whole time that they're eating, and then he eats a flower, and then Goose just starts just lapping up the chocolate river with his hand like a crazy person.
How long do you think that river was sitting there, like during like the whole filming and everything, before they had them go in there and drink out of it?
Oof, I hope it was early.
Well, I was gonna say like
because again,
I'm sure it was like as the days went on, right? Because like I guess the only hole in it was that square meter hole where the actor was supposed to like kind of disappear into.
yeah. So again,
But
this has been sitting here for probably a hot minute before he's
Yeah, it was
just
probably
imagine
gross.
just imagine leaving chocolate milk out for like a couple days.
Yeah,
in
I'm sure it
hot
was
weather.
a little bit nasty.
Yeah, we're a month into filming, and he's like, "All right, yeah, no, you drink out of there." What?
Actually, it probably didn't even take that long. I mean, think about it. Like if you leave milk out for like even a few hours out in some heat, like that stuff. Well, to quote Anchorman, milk was a bad choice.
Yeah, pretty much. This is where I feel like the movie started going really, really quickly for me. I feel like so Augustus falls into the river somehow. I've still all these years no idea how he falls in. He was sitting there just fine, and then all of a sudden he tumbles into the river for no reason.
There was like a
What
dark.
do you get when you gobble up treats?
There was like a
Yeah.
dark fan theory thing. I don't know why I know this. I know that Wonka was intentionally doing this to everybody, so like he'd actually pushed him in, kind of.
He didn't push him though.
He
I
did.
watched
Yeah,
for it. I watched for him. I was like, I think he pushes him, but no, he doesn't. He just falls in somehow.
Yep.
He falls in. He gets stuck up a tube. He gets stuck in the tube. Wonka just barely cares. He's like, whatever. The whole time he's basically like, whatever. You signed the contract. Except he never says that, but that's what I'm sure that's what he's thinking. He's like, I don't care what happens to you. You guys signed this contract. Like, but the parents never signed it. Did you catch that?
Yeah.
But all these things happen to the kids. But if anything happened to the parents, they would be able to sue Wonka because they didn't sign the contract saying no bodily harm, whatever.
Right, and
Hey,
like,
laws might have been different back then.
well,
1971.
and
I don't
again,
think the laws
under
were any different back
18, a guardian has to sign it for you.
No, I know, but probably. I don't.
Yeah, so then contracts null and void because they're not 18
Hey,
and they're not
cigarette
legal.
advertising just became illegal that year. So
That's very true.
God knows.
You're right. Before this, everybody was lighting up Camel Joes on the playground.
absolutely.
Exactly, they were.
How else
then
are you
you
gonna
get
enjoy the seesaw?
you get your first Oompa Loompa
Well,
song
Timmy needs a drag.
where, like I started at the beginning, Oompa Loompa doopity doo. You get your song. They start singing. They tell people that they're bad, basically, in all their songs. If they do, I think I don't know if I caught this or I read into it too much. At the end of the song for Augustus, they say, if you are not greedy, you will go far. I was like, is that some subtle foreshadowing in the songs telling the people to not be greedy the rest of the time that they're there?
If you are not greedy, you
Right.
will go far.
Yep.
I was like, I don't know if that was an actual thing that they tried to do or was literally just part of the song. I was like, that is an
foreshadowing away.
interesting thing to add in there.
I don't know, but Wonka explains to us, I guess, in some terms, that they're fleeing genocide.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. And then they
from
kind
a
of
from a far off land that doesn't exist, and
Yep.
it's crazy.
so then they jump onto the river there. I think I remember a fact that they didn't tell the rest of the cast that Gene Wilder was going to do what he did during this scene. So
Like the screaming?
Yeah,
I
the-
love this scene.
Yeah,
It's
so the reactions
funny.
that you're getting from the entire cast is genuine because they didn't know going into it what was happening and that Gene was just going to go psycho.
I was all
does.
for the psycho Gene
He
in the scene,
goes
honestly.
nuts.
Yeah.
Like, the
And before
rowers are still rowing,
Yeah.
showing no signs of slowing.
Yeah. The fires of hell are growing.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like,
that
and
part
the
is like, holy
rowers keep
crap.
on rowing.
Remind you, this is a kid's movie.
No, not in this tunnel, man. That's,
Oh my gosh, it's
and they
so
show these
funny.
scenes of like insects and reptiles.
Yeah,
and
insects traveling
weird
over people's
scenes.
faces and
a chicken getting its
Yeah,
head
it's
cut
got-
off.
yeah.
I don't know
I love
exactly
it.
what they're going for
It
here,
was
but
hilarious. And then he just screams at the end. I laugh so hard every time he starts screaming.
and it's just like, yeah, we're here.
Well, and
Yeah, they're
then,
like, Wonka, I had enough. He's like, so have I. Let's stop.
yeah, and then you're gonna yell at me again. Anyway, Scarface, he pops up in the corner too, right next to Charlie.
Ah, yes.
For the last time, his
Mr.
name is
Slugworth.
Slugworth. Could you just
Yeah.
write it down on in your hand or something?
Slugworth.
He's a
Scar
terrible
guy.
human being, so I refuse to remember him.
He's is he a terrible human being?
He is not a terrible human being. Spoilers.
Yeah, Grandpa Joe is. Yeah, and then I think from here, what did we jump into? Was it the?
They go into his secret lab where it doesn't even look like secret, just like a bunch of junk all over the place and
Okay,
some
I made a
candy
note.
things happening.
This is the
First
lightsaber
scene,
room.
first scene getting into his lab. If you look in like the upper right of the scene, one of the Oompa Loompas working is just a normal sized dude.
Oh yeah, I clocked a couple of those. There's a few of them that are literally
In this
just
scene?
normal sized. Yeah.
Yes, like when they first get in the secret lab, I'm like, Wait, that guy's just normal size.
There's a couple that it could just be a trick of the camera too, but there's a couple.
I
that
don't think
look
it was,
normal
though.
size. They do.
I'm like, that's a
definitely look
lanky
that.
dude. Far too lanky.
Yeah, this is where he like tries some different things. He says a lot of weird stuff to different people throughout this. Like, Veruca Salt's dad asks him something, and he says, "Candy's dandy, but liquor is quicker." I was like, "What is what's the
rum?
matter with
Yeah.
you?"
Throwing shoes and coats and formulas.
He threw the coat because it was too cold, and the shoe so it had some kick. It was just like, I don't understand what's going on.
I love my taffy tasting like leather.
moment, and you're ruining it.
No, not whimsical.
It was very whimsical.
It was just dad jokes on top of candy. And then someone tries to look at the gobstopper machine, and he's like, "You can't look at that." And they're like, "What does it do?" And he's like, turns it on, and it makes these geometric shaped. I don't even know how to
weird
describe
polygon
really.
looking thing.
Yeah, polygon. Yeah. That's a good descriptor. Everlasting gobstoppers, which is a pretty nice concept because he says that it's for kids that don't have that much money because he's gonna sell them really cheap and they last for a really, really long time, which is a pretty good concept. I thought like that's a pretty good thing for him to do.
It's the Costco chicken.
You're telling me that people are gonna grab the gobstopper that tastes like something instead of grabbing chocolate? I don't think.
You know what? Maybe Dunkel's got a point. The Costco chicken. You eat the cost of the Costco chicken, so you get
gets him in the
money back
door,
elsewhere.
And then the creepy candy man sings to you.
Pretty
God,
much. That
please
is
no.
pretty much how it goes. So he gives each.
I'll
kid,
pay him not to sing to me.
He gives each kid one. He doesn't give Charlie one, and you hear Grandpa Joe. What about Charlie? Who's Grandpa Joe at this point? I'm like, he's just thinking about the money at the end.
Yeah.
Yes.
He wants
Yes.
Charlie to get that gobstopper.
So he can lay back on that bed and not have to do anything.
Yeah.
You're terrible, Grandpa Joe.
The real villain of this entire movie.
He
Oh,
is kind of
absolutely.
a villain in this movie. I thought he
Slugworth
was.
eats your
He's
heart
not
out.
a
Well, because
villain.
you think about it, so shortly after this, they go into the room with the bubbles, and he's like,
Right
"Oh,
before
God."
that, though, we lose Violet, though. This is where I said
yeah.
it goes fast because, like, room to room, you start losing kids. So there's this big machine where like a bunch of different things are happening. Syrups are dropping.
It's basically cooking dinners into
It's
bubble
cooking
gum.
dinners into a bubble gum, and she's the bubble gum queen or whatever you want to call
I
it.
could taste mashed potatoes and great. That'd be like,
Yeah, she's like, oh, first of all, what Thanksgiving starts with tomato soup? I didn't understand that part.
71. I have to chalk it up to 71.
You can't just
Maybe it
keep
was.
chalking it up to the year.
Hey, maybe Campbell's also financed this.
I doubt it. Yeah, so then she's like, oh, blueberry pie, and then she starts turning blue, and her dad's like, Violet, you're turning violet.
Oh my
Which
gosh,
is just
she
a
said the word.
ridiculous.
Well, like
line.
it gets back to like the how
Roald Dahl was not subtle.
Well, how
Roald
well
Dahl was
planned,
not subtle.
how planned out was everything because the TV kid gets stuck in the TV. Violet gets.
Well, I mean, yeah,
Violet.
I mean, it's a book, so I'm sure he was trying to, do
A
some
quick
things.
side note: Roald Dahl was actually initially tapped to be the screenwriter for this, but he actually only wrote an outline, and then they handed it off to another writer. So.
Interesting. I did see that. Yeah, he was part of it.
And I guess he ended up not liking it, which no surprise. I mean, a lot of authors don't like movies made from their books.
Yeah.
Right.
So back to Grandpa Joe, the villain. He convinces Charlie because they go in this room to drink this floating drink,
Fizzy
lifting drink. So they gonna get like they almost die basically because they start floating so high that they get stuck in a fan. They have to burp to get their way down. And it's like, again, the only reason why Charlie's getting in trouble in this whole situation is because Grandpa Joe.
Yep, Grandpa Joe. Thanks a lot, Grandpa Joe. Because he even tries to stop Grandpa Joe. He's like, hey, Wonka said we can't. He's like, who cares?
Yeah.
And I misremember the scene because I thought when they got down, like Wonka was kind of mad at him.
No,
I didn't realize it was until later.
No,
Wonka.
Yeah, Wonka didn't because then they go into the room.
This is the golden goose.
with the golden goose with the golden gooses. The geese laying golden eggs.
And Veruca wants a golden goose. I want one, Daddy.
They are 4 times the size as a regular one, and they lay for Easter. It's not Easter. Don't tell them that.
This part, when he's talking about this, it actually doesn't make that much sense because they do this in October. So if you did want to get ready for Easter, this would probably be the time that you would start if you're a chocolate company.
Yeah.
But he was like, don't tell them that. Or else they won't produce any more
working
eggs.
overtime.
Like, you're working them overtime, but I mean, like, it's not that far off. Easter's not that, like, you're in October.
Yeah.
Imagine we got to feed these geese to produce eggs.
So they need.
I mean, those things are huge.
Well, yeah, and they're producing like every 5 seconds.
Yeah, are they feeding them Oompa Loompas? Like, I really got to know what these geese are eating.
Maybe Oompa Loompas.
So then Veruca,
Delicious kids.
the bad egg, gets launched down a hole. And that's
yeah,
her
she
way
does
of going away.
she does a whole song that's annoying,
And they tell her like,
he
"Whoa,
makes
where's
her-
that go?" Well,
makes
the
her even more of a
incinerator,
villain.
obviously. And the dad freaks out. What?
And I
Jumps
do
in
like the not so
after.
subtle, like when she falls down, it's like, ding,
Yep,
bad.
bad.
Yeah, well,
And then
like
her
the
dad, and then
zinger.
he says like she might have got stuck. This part is like the dad's like, no, Veruca, like she might be stuck in the tube. He dives head first into this tube. What if
Right.
she was stuck in there?
Yeah, and you're. Ugh.
What's he doing head first?
Well, and after he already tells him, he's like, "Well, I think that one goes in the incinerator, actually, too." Like, okay, so
So he sees like it goes to the trash.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, the trash. What if she gets stuck there? And he's like, oh, it gets burned every
so-
like every other day or something
yeah,
like
it gets
that.
burned
So,
every
yeah.
other day, so she
Yeah.
might be okay. And then our villain of the story, Grandpa Joe. Do you remember what he says?
No.
He says Veruca's dad finally got his wish, and Charlie's like, "What's that?" And he says,
She went
"Ver-
before.
She went first, like as in she died first."
Yeah.
I just wrote,
Grandpa Joe.
"Holy, that's dark."
Can we have the spin-off with Grandpa Joe?
As the villain, he's the villain.
The
Then-
true monster of the story.
Yeah, we go right from that to the Wonka vision, not television, Wonka vision. He does that. He does that a couple times with
Yeah.
things.
But this is the one where like the kid's just like all cool with it. He gets shrunk down by the ray.
Yeah,
He's like, oh yeah, this is great.
Which Wonka vision is nuts. Like he's taking a giant chocolate bar and sending it in a million pieces that you can see for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's like, it's just like television when you do this, but you can't see television splitting things into different particles.
Right. God forbid he dies when he gets cut up in the air and puts back together.
Right. Like what if somebody just like jumps up and slaps it? Is he gonna come out wonky shaped?
Extra
Oh,
hands
is that
sticking out his
punny?
head.
Is that punny?
Yeah, the kid gets turned into like a really small guy. He's, "Mom, I'm fine." Blah blah blah. She puts him in her purse, and then Wonka like shakes the purse as he's giving it to the Oompa Loompa. And then he says, "Take him to the stretching room or something like
The
that."
taffy pulling
The
machine.
taffy pulling machine.
Yeah.
And then the Oompa Loompa whispers to him, and he's like, "No, I'm not going to hold you liable for anything."
Yeah, I love that.
Whoa! Like,
It's like,
what
don't worry,
is
you won't be held
happening?
liable.
That's why you have all these dark things.
contract. You're fine.
So I got all
Yeah.
these dark theories where people think Wonka was literally just killing these kids.
I mean, you could tell he just did not care for the kids.
Yeah.
And it almost seemed like, and I'm obviously reading way too far into this, so feel free to stop me, but like he's almost trying to make a joke of the world. Like, look at all these kids I got here. Look at the way the world is just scrambling for all these chocolate bars.
Well, I think there is something to that because towards the end, like they get to the end after the Wonka vision, he opens his door and I don't know, it's after they talk in the office, but he says something along the lines. Wonka says something like, they probably learned a lot of lessons on the way there, or something like on the way home, or something like that. So like it was almost like he was trying to teach these kids a lesson for being snotty.
And like it's almost like he didn't expect a Charlie, really.
No, I don't think so, not really. And then they go to his office, because he's like, "Okay, bye, see you later," and like they don't get the.
It's just a weird tonal shift. Like,
Yeah, they
it's
don't
all of a
get
sudden
the-
he's like, I'm a busy man.
I have so much to do, and he says, and then they like, "We didn't get our chocolate," and then he like freaks out, like,
You get nothing.
yeah,
You deserve nothing.
and then he gives him the good old "Good day, sir," and then he says,
Good day.
and then Grandpa Joe's sitting there, "You're a crook, you're a bad guy, take dreams away from kids." And he's, "I said good day," and he walks out, and then there's Grandpa Joe. "Well, we're gonna get our money anyway from Slugworth."
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Grandpa Joe.
Yeah, it's like, Grandpa, you could have been working to support Charlie this whole time, and now you're going to go into basically essentially scamming Wonka.
Yeah, maybe
Is what he went into.
maybe if you didn't drink the pop like you weren't supposed to, Grandpa, we wouldn't be in this situation.
And then we get the
Yeah, and he's like, clearly in the contract, it's stated.
yeah, and then he like says a bunch of I think it was like Greek or Latin, maybe
It was Latin. Yeah.
Latin, yeah. Just says a bunch of Latin words that nobody understands whatsoever.
And of course, then we get the moment.
Yeah, then you get the
Charlie
lame, absolutely lame.
Charlie puts the gobstopper in his desk,
I'm Charlie. I'm a good person.
and then he
that's
starts
how
walking
I
away.
thought. He's like,
I mean, that's pretty
"No,
much what it was.
Charlie, wait, you win."
Did they ever explain why everything in his office was cut in half?
No, they did
No.
not. It was just
Okay.
I think that was more the filmmakers, because I
Whimsy,
never read the novel.
Dunkel. whimsy.
Yeah, it was all about whimsy.
It's a whimsical moment, and you're destroying it.
Yep, exactly.
I mean, the freaking car powered by pop.
Yeah,
like,
everything is just the car powered by fizzy
Which is
bubble
also
drinks.
like, what was the whole purpose of that? They drove
nothing,
50
absolutely
yards just to
Whimsy.
get wrecked and then
100% whimsy.
Yeah, 100% nonsense. I'm gonna start calling it nonsense. It's not whimsy. It's nonsensical.
Yeah. And so, this is the moment where, Willy Wonka's like, this was it. This was the test. I needed a test for basically somebody who actually deserved to head this company. Apparently, it was a retirement plan.
Yeah, it was a
Wonka's
retirement plan. And he
plan.
brings in Slugworth and calls him something else. Actually, it's not actually Slugworth. It's somebody else. That's not his name. It's like, no, he works.
It's just like his assistant or something.
He works for me. He was just trying to get you guys to see if you were good people. And then they go to the
his name is
Wonka
Mr.
Vader.
Wilkinson. Come on.
Oh,
It can go upways, crossways, downways.
That's why I never knew it.
Slatways.
It was Mr.
square
Wilkinson.
ways, I think he says.
Square ways. Yeah.
There's never Slugsworth. There's always Wilkinson.
And then they go shooting upwards. They're like, "We're gonna be cut to pieces. This is made of glass." And when it busts
Our
through
town
the
looks
window,
beautiful from up here.
when it busts through the window, it's definitely not made of glass because on the outside it's completely metal.
Yeah.
So I don't even know what I think it is supposed to be made of glass, like by the book, but it was like in the picture there, it's like looks like it's made of metal.
Yeah, very much metal with like a couple windows on it.
And then they're flying around, and he's telling them that you can come live in the factory, and I'll teach you everything. And this is where I really hate Grandpa Joe, because Grandpa Joe goes, "What about me?
Yeah.
Not what about the family? Not what about my wife that I have a bed with and I've sitting there for 20 years? Not any of that. What about me?" He says.
And then Charlie's the one that has to bring up like, and the rest of the family?
Yeah, and the rest of it, he's like,
yes, them too.
yes, of course, of course. And then he says some cheesy, like, don't forget about what happened to the guy who got everything he ever wanted or something like that.
He lived happily ever after.
He lived happily ever after. Boo.
Yeah, like, lesson learned, get everything you want?
Maybe. We can get into our ratings now, though.
I think we can. Can I go first?
You can go first.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 1307 out of 1507. I actually quite enjoyed it this time around, especially giving it a more critical eye, I think.
Mhm.
I'd never really done that before. And I do appreciate it's kind of like, well, obviously Gene Wilder. I mean, Gene Wilder makes this movie, period. He makes Willy Wonka. Sorry, Johnny Depp. Sorry, Timothée Chalamet. It's Gene Wilder. It had a fun, whimsical tone. And it's some kind of biting, witty humor aside from that, too.
Yeah. I think I'm right around that about 1352 mark. It's again like you said, like for me this is the Willy Wonka movie. Like even comparing it to the other ones, like they don't compare. Again, Gene Wilder did an amazing job for this, and he made that whole movie, and it held up for me at least. So
yeah, for sure. From what I read, yeah. I mean, Gene Wilder's like the iconic in everyone's eyes. Even Roger Ebert famously gave this movie 2 thumbs up.
Can go like
Thumbs up.
3 digits.
I give this a 1210 out of 1507. Ooh. I was lower than you guys. I don't know, man. There's too much singing. I mean,
it's whimsical.
Some of the stuff is just ridiculous. Grandpa Joe is an evil guy. I just couldn't. I don't know. I couldn't get past the nonsense looking at it analytically. So yeah, 1210. Still is not that bad.
No, absolutely. I think even then, like, forgiven for what it was, like most of the
essentially a financed Quaker Oats advertisement.
Well,
it wasn't bad
for me. Like most movies we watched around this time frame, I feel like terrible pacing. Right, I think they did a really good job in the pacing in this. But like you said, like you get halfway through and it's just like boom, 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 boom. Like the last 40 minutes,
kid drops.
They're yeeting these suckers out the door faster than the candy bars.
Exactly.
So yeah, I think it held up pretty good. I didn't think the
fat boy, spoiled kid.
Yeah, right.
Gum chewer.
Yeah, annoying gum chewer.
Right. Yeah, his pacing wise, it was definitely a little bit easier to watch, and like. Given some of the movies we watched were like they were kind of old ones I enjoyed when I was younger, this one held up a little bit better too. So
right.
not bad ratings all around.
Yeah, not too bad. It kind of averages out to not too bad. Next week, we're doing something a little different. We're actually going to go to the movie theater. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Comment what you think the next movie is going to be. Could be The Odyssey. Could be something more insidious.
Let's have a nice little guess.
We're actually going to meet each other in person finally, guys. Oh, we've been doing this for like 19 weeks. I'm so excited for this.
Yeah, the sky's the limit and the ground is what you stand on. Catch you in the next one.
All right. Later, folks.
See you guys.